नमस्कार, मैं सुजीत चक्रवर्ती. Today we are starting the second session of day 1. The topic is indoor and outdoor plants, about vegetables, fruits and ornamental. So different kind of plants we grow in our home garden. Certain plants are suitable for outdoor and certain other plants are suitable for indoor. So I will classify this according to different three groups: the veggies, the vegetables, which are grown for our consumption purpose to be used in kitchen. Also fruits, which is again for our consumption purpose for as a food, and ornamentals, which are which give aesthetic view, which beautify our home outdoor as well as indoors. So let's start with indoor plants first. The indoor plants, if you can see here, different pictures are there of indoor plants. So different kind of indoor plants have different utilities, and based on the utilities and the type of the plants, etc., I'll explain. It acts as natural pest repellents, acts as cooling the ambient temperature, also help in reducing air pollution to great extent, and similarly it refreshes the mood, and hence it enhances our efficiency also. It positively recharges the ambient atmosphere. I'll explain all these points a little in detail. And then it enhances the oxygen level. It increases the oxygen level, and there are certain set of plants which are grown as microgreens, and certain other plants are grown in hydroponics also for the food purpose, but all are grown indoor. So there are few plants which when you grow indoor, it reduces the pest incidence, maybe the flying insects or the crawling insects or other kind of pests. Similarly, there are plants which uh, affect the atmospheric temperature, ambient temperature inside. It reduces the temperature, it does the cooling of the indoor ambient atmosphere. Also, it controls the humidity. Humidity is reduced. In the previous session in growing condition, I have explained a little bit in detail. And similarly, the plants are there which absorb the toxic air, toxic gases inside the house, inside the room. The ambient air is purified, and because of that, if pollution is there, if the oxygen is less, or the atmosphere inside is not positive, then we feel tired, we feel less focused on our work, our efficiency goes down. So these are the different kind of effects for not having indoor plants, or for having indoor plants. The positive effects are there. Uh, all these things will be discussed in detail in the respective sessions and the uh, slides. Then comes the outdoor plants. In the outdoor plants, again, two types of outdoor plants can be grown. One is productive, as I said, vegetables and fruits are productive. That is for some production, for our uses, for consumption or otherwise. And others are decorative, for aesthetic view, for giving, decorating and beautifying our outdoor spaces. Then further, it can be again grouped into different seasonal, annual, biennial, and perennial. Some plants are seasonal in like seasonal vegetables and seasonal flowers, or some are annual, and some are 2 years biennial, or some are multiple years, many years, or perennials. Similarly, further grouping can be possible in veggies, vegetables, fruits, flowers, herbs, and other kind of utility plants. Like, for example, if we have certain medicinal plants or certain herbs which which can come into the utility group. Uh, According to the size, or according to the height rather, like dwarf, medium plant, or tall and very tall plants. Particularly trees are very tall, and other plants can be grouped into very small dwarf up to 1 feet, 1.5 feet, or more than 1.5 feet to up to 3.5 feet medium, and beyond that 3.5, 4 feet is tall, and then very tall is which can be measured in meters, few meters, 3 meter, 2 meter, or 5, 6 meters, or further. Similarly, according to the requirement of sunlight, as I have explained in the first session, sunlight is very important. So some prefer direct sunlight throughout the day. Some thrive well in partial sunlight, that is not full day, but few hours of the day. And certain can grow well in diffuse sunlight or shaded area, where direct sunlight is not coming any part of the day, but diffuse light is there. And when I'm saying outdoor, uh, depending on the structure of the garden, the design of the garden, and the house location, etc., some part can be during the whole day. It can be shaded area, as I have explained in the previous session about the sunlight. So in certain plants in outdoor do well in shaded condition also. Similarly, like the structure of the plant, very compact and bushy, or open type, branching type, or some plant grow straight, erect, upward. Say, for example, like lady's finger is there, or some flowering plants are there, which grow straight upward, or trees, mostly trees are erect. And then some plants are climber, which need support. Here you can see in this picture, or here in these pictures, these are the climber plants, and they need support. And if they get support, or you give support, they climb upwards and grow further. Or some plants are there which are creeper, which don't climb up, but they grow on the ground only and spread on the ground. So like that, the structure of the plant. And then related with the sunlight, there are certain plants which require long day condition. Certain other plants require short day condition, and certain plants are there which are day neutral. They are not sensitive to the day length for that matter. What is long day, what is short day, and what is day neutral, I'll explain in further slides. So this long day, short day, and day neutral condition, the sensitivity to the photo period, is important for the flowering and fruiting. So how it is important, what impact it has if we grow it in the other condition, the reverse condition. All these things will be explained in following sessions. Then comes the type of the plant, like a soft or woody. Certain plants are there which are mostly the herbs, or like that, which are soft. There is no wood. They are delicate and soft. Then certain plants are delicate and hardy. Like delicate means which require a lot of care, proper atmosphere, the temperature, humidity, etc. In soil also, if there is a moisture stress, any kind of stress they cannot withstand, and they show the effect of the stress condition immediately. And some other plants are there which are hardy. They can withstand in the stress condition. Now, stress condition can be shortage of water, or dryness in the atmosphere, or too much wetness in the atmosphere, high humidity, or very dry condition in the atmosphere, as well as in the soil, excess moisture or less moisture, stress condition. Also temperature, like high temperature, low temperature, etc. There are plants which can survive in that, sustain in that condition. Then there are herbs and shrubs and trees depending on the kind of the plant. So this way of outdoor plants we can group into different different groups based on different uh, kind of characteristics, I should say. And we need to understand when we select our plants that which group, which kind of characteristics they have, and what kind of space. And in the first session, what I have explained about the growing conditions, suitable growing conditions according to the type of the plant. We have to match that. In indoor plants, two kind of plants which are productive in veggies, which we can grow in inside the house. One is the sprouts. Of course, this is not plant, but when we talk about the food as a food, then sprouts is also because we are using seed and we are growing the seed. First growth of the seed is the root part, which is can say botanically it is called radicle. So we grow and prepare the this sprouts in our kitchen. So this can be done in kitchen, and for this specific kind of utensil is available in the market. In that different kind of sprouts can be produced at home only. And similarly, nowadays a lot of people prefer growing microgreens also. Microgreen is the next stage of the sprouts, you can say. In the sprouts, if you see here, it is the root growth only. And in microgreen, it is the shoot growth is happening. And the first set of leaves is growing. I'll talk about it in detail in next coming slides. So these two things can be grown in kitchen near the window where sunlight is coming. For the sprouts, near the window is not necessary. Only thing is that if it has to be placed in such a place where temperature is almost constant, not varying much day and night, and it takes few hours, 24 to 48 hours, or maybe 36 hours for the sprouting to happen, and then it is consumed different ways. So different kind of pulses are mostly used in sprouts, but then long list of seeds are available and possible to sprout and consume. And then certain grass cereals like wheat grass or certain millets are also used for this purpose. And then certain herbs also can be grown in indoor for the purpose. Herbs also can be grown in indoor vegetables for consumption purpose. And then day neutral root vegetables like carrot, radish, etc. Also can be grown in hydroponic condition, also in hydroponic in shaded places. So indoor where sunlight is not that important. Uniform condition is more important, whether it is sunlight or temperature, ambient humidity, etc. Then comes the short duration leafy vegetables, for example, like this cilantro, coriander, or fenugreek kind of things are there, which are approximately 1 month, around 1 month plus minus, can say, like certain leafy vegetables are for 1 to 30 days to 35 days, 40 days, and or less than 30 days, like 25 days. So those can be grown at home also near the window where sunlight is there. And then day neutral fruits and vegetables are also possible to grow where flowering fruiting is possible. Here is the list of different indoor veggies. In that, three groups I have mentioned. One is the microgreens, and then sprouts and herbs. And you can see long list of microgreens are there, like amaranth, arugula, beet, and basil, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, celery. All these vegetables can be grown outdoor as a vegetable, and also can be grown indoor in as microgreen also for fast growth and early consumption. Celery, chard and cereal, cilantro, cress, carrot, dill, fennel, then garlic, also kale, leek, mustard, onion, parsley, radish, sorrel, etc. List is even longer. Similarly, for sprouts, we can use all these kind of seeds in which small as well as large seeds are there. Normally, the pulses are used as a sprout, but then the variety of sprouts are possible, and different type of seeds have different nutritional properties actually. So alfalfa, beet, broccoli, clover, and then fenugreek, kidney bean, lentil, mustard, green pea, green gram, or this red gram, radish, spelt, sunflower, wheatgrass, etc. All this can be grown as a sprout and can be consumed, which this is the fastest way to get the produce, because this requires 24 to 48 hours or sometimes less also in between. And then there are certain herbs can be grown for the kitchen, like basil, savoy, chives, cilantro, fennel, lemon balm, mint, oregano, parsley, rosemary, sage, and thyme. Now, rosemary, sage, thyme, and this lemon balm, etc. In dry condition, also it is available. Dry leaves are available, and we use it. But it is better if we can grow at home and use the fresh one, because fresh one will have the essential oil preserved in this, and we fresh is always better because it gives the exact flavor to our food. Then coming to the details of microgreens, here different type of microgreens are being grown, and in this graph, the yield per day is mentioned for the long list. I have tabled it out. I have made it a tabular form, and here few examples are taken only. You can see that this is the duration and the quantity required as per the size of the container, as I have mentioned here earlier, that 3-inch depth and 10-inch wide and 20-inch long. In that kind of container, this much quantity of seed respective to the exact, different crops. Like in amaranth, 7.5 gram seed is required. The small seeds, it is very small seed. And it takes roughly 14 days for the microgreens to be ready for use. And roughly we get some 200 grams, approximately 175 to 200 grams. So this is the quantity per tray possible in one harvest. It is one time harvest only. So for basil, the time is a bit longer and seed quantity is small because small and light seed, and it gives approximately 200 to 225 grams. Similarly, broccoli takes 10 days approximately. Some 13 grams seed is required, and it gives 325 grams production. Cabbage also similar, 12 days. Here, the number of days I have mentioned is not fixed. It depends on the season and the region. Again, in the ambient temperature and the conditions, the sunlight availability, the period of the light also is important that way. And all these conditions which I've discussed earlier, based on that, this duration may vary 2 days here and there, but approximately this is the duration required for that much growth. And the first 2 leaves grow. Here I would like to explain that this growth which is happening is not because of any external nutrient taken by the seedlings or the plants, the small seedlings, the microgreens, because this growth is happening with the help of the food stored inside the seed. In the seed structure, when I come to the in the next session, I'll explain that how the seed structure is, and in that, in every seed there is a amount of food stored for the initial growth, the initial root growth, which happens first, and then the initial shoot growth. And once the shoot comes out, it starts receiving the sunlight. The root is penetrating down in the ground or in the soil, in the growing medium, and till it starts taking the nutrient from the medium, and the leaves start preparing the food through the photosynthesis. Till that time, there is a amount of food stored in the seed, and with that usage of the food, it grows, and the microgreen is up to that. Uh, this duration is for that. So in this respective different crops, this is the approximate time duration till this stored food is available and it grows. And this much quantity we are able to harvest. And the harvesting is done just by cutting through a scissor just above the growing medium. So produce is the above the growing medium, not inside the growing medium. In sprouts, only the root portion is there. In case of wheat grass, of course, the entire thing is used. I'll talk about that separately. So this is about the microgreens, and then the outdoor vegetables. In that, first I'll explain about the day neutral day length, the long day, short day factor, and day neutral. What is that? So here you see that the yellow portion is the daytime and blue portion is the night time. This is 6 a.m. So before 6 a.m. the sunrise is happening, and this is 6 p.m. Evening. So after 6 p.m. Sunset is happening. So day length is more than 12 hours and night length is less than 12 hours. Here it is the opposite. After the sunrise, after 6 a.m. sun is rising, and before the 6 p.m. in the evening, sun is setting. So night is longer and day is shorter. So these are the two conditions happening depending on the region and the season of where we are. So there are certain plants which flower in the long day condition. Here you can see this flower, this is in flowering stage in long day condition, but the same plant is not flowering in the long night or short day condition. Just reverse of this, that is for this plant. Here in long day condition, this is not flowering, and in short day condition or long night condition rather, this is flowering. And in this case, in both the condition, it is flowering. So this is day neutral, this is short day or long night, this is long day or short night. Either way, generally it is termed as long day and short day and day neutral. So day neutral vegetables can be grown round the year because it is not sensitive to the light period, the photo period. Then certain, flowering and fruit veggies are sensitive to photo period. Here I must say that not all the fruits and vegetables, flowering vegetables and fruiting vegetables are sensitive to photo period. As I said here, day neutral plants are there. So I'll give the examples of that also. Then long day vegetables during spring, summer and rainy season, because here flowering and fruiting is required. So the flowering, fruiting, that is productive stage, happens in the spring, summer and rainy season. That means this is the period, spring, summer and rainy season period. This is 6 months period from 21st March to 21st September. From 21st March to 21st September in the northern hemisphere, and just opposite of that in the southern hemisphere is the long day condition. That means in northern hemisphere, the long day condition will be from 21st March to 21st September. But in southern hemisphere, the long day condition will be from 21st September to 21st March. The just opposite of that will happen in short day condition, that is autumn, fall, winter and winter. In northern hemisphere, it will be from 21st September to 21st March, and in southern hemisphere, it will be from 21st March to 21st September. So this is how the short day and long day. And there are plants which are sensitive for flowering and fruiting in this period. There are other set of plants which are sensitive to this period, and they flower and fruit in this this short day condition. So selection of crops according to the water requirement availability is also very important, along with the light period, etc. Because as I said earlier, the water availability and water requirement are deeply connected. We must decide about according to the requirement of the plants. I will not go into the detail here. The selection of container according to root system and shoot structure, already explained earlier. Selection of space and place according to the light requirement and availability, also explained here. Here, if you see in this picture, it is a passage kind of balcony, can say. Here the two rows are there. One row in the pots, different kind of small vegetables and flower pots are kept, and here the vegetables as well as the climber type of vegetables, like this is bitter gourd, is growing on the window. So this when it is you grow it, allow it to grow on the window, it acts as a curtain also. Then outdoor vegetables, in that I've decided divided into three groups: day neutral, short day and long day. As I said earlier, these are the plants which are day neutral: brinjal, capsicum, chilies, cowpea, cucumber, French bean, okra, peas, and tomatoes, etc. All are fruiting plants actually, and they require uh, they don't require any day length specific this thing. They are insensitive to the day length, and that's why they can be grown round the year. Of course, it depends on the region and season, because other conditions are also do also work together simultaneously. As I said, in nature, there are innumerable factors all worked simultaneously. So we must see the things collectively, not in isolation, all the factors. So these are the group of plants in short day, like lab bean or kidney bean, cluster bean, winged bean, sweet potato, Indians. It's a long list actually, but I've just mentioned certain examples. And then long day condition, here this short day and long day condition is for the flowering and fruiting. If certain crops like beet and carrot, cabbage, etc. are not for flowering, so it can be grown in other condition also. Of course, the other factors like temperature, etc. also is important. Then nol col, spinach, again leafy, can be grown in other season also, but for flowering fruiting purpose, it requires long day condition. In this picture, you can see that again the others balcony passage where flowering and veggies are arranged in this way. So this is the example how these things can be grown. Of course, it is this picture is from one of my friend in Manali. So for Indian condition, it's a temperate region. So accordingly, we have to see the region and season is very important where we are located, and accordingly we have to decide about what we can grow in which season and where we can grow. Then indoor fruits, there are quite a few fruits which can be grown indoor also. When I'm talking about fruits, I'm talking about fruits for the consumption purpose. And in that, you can see the pictures of orange, then strawberries and pineapple and grape, etc. Lemon also is there. So different kind of peach, I mean, there different kind of things. Has to be small size trees, or the structure or size of the plant or tree should be compact and small, so that it can be grown in successfully in pots. Then root system and the growth pattern also is important factor. Again, as I have explained, the container size and the space above should be sufficient, but can be accommodated in small space. So small canopy fruits are suitable for indoor growth. Of course, it has to be well ventilated, and if not direct sunlight, at least sufficient sunlight, even if it is diffuse sunlight, but sufficient sunlight throughout the day should be available. Compact shape, as I've already mentioned, then timely pruning. These plant structure should be maintained properly, like for grape or for this citrus, etc., and berries. Cutting and pruning of unwanted portion or the branches and leaves should be done regularly in time, so that plant should be in proper shape and size and healthy. Then less vigorous branching, too much branching is not ideal for indoor growth. Then photo period, as I have mentioned, for flowering and fruiting. So sunlight availability, day length, etc. is important, and the ambient temperature, because in ambient temperature is more or less remains constant, unlike outside it varies in different part of the day. Early morning it is cool that way, irrespective of the season. Coolest time of the day, midday is the hottest time of the day, and then evening time is again cooling down, and then slowly night it cools further. So in ambient condition, this is more or less uniform, more uniform. Of course, there is some variation in the temperature between different parts of the day. Then I have divided into the three groups, the indoor fruits, the berry types and citrus types and other types, and examples are here. And many more can be possible. Basic factors, basic considerations I have mentioned here. So based on that, we can decide about the any other type of fruits also. And then goji berry, mulberry, strawberry, etc. in different kind of berries, or mild lemon, lime, calamondin, orange, pomcat, etc. in citrus group. Small size plants are preferable actually. And then in others, avocado is there, grape is there, fig, nectarine, olive, passion fruit, peach, etc. and pineapple kind of plants also can be grown inside, depending on the space available and all other factors as explained earlier. Coming to the outdoor fruits, here I have considered only the fruits which can be grown in home garden, depending on the space available, whether we have open space in a large bungalow where front and back side open space is there, and we can grow different kind of fruit trees also, or sometimes space is available in open spaces available in terrace, or in balcony also, if a large balcony is there. But then terrace and on ground open space is more preferable for fruit trees actually. Here the all kind of trees thrive well in open. That is, of course, that is the natural way, of course. And again, root system and growth pattern is important. So we have to see that how much space we have in the ground, in the soil, for the root growth, depending on the plant size, plant structure, plant canopy structure, and height of the plant, size of the plant, etc. And above ground for growth, all the space, all round space should be available. Here, if you see, the banana is just grown against the wall, and it is just bending on one side. So it should not be like that. And also people sometimes try to grow banana in balconies also, which is not preferable. If you want to grow banana, it should be open from all sides. Terrace is a better place, or on ground open space is better rather than kind of against the wall. Then depending on the type of the plant, annual, biennial, and perennial type, like these are the perennial type, guava or pineapple or mango. Mango, if you have a large space in open, then mango can be grown, because mango grows a lot continuously and long duration plant, I mean tree. It grows for many years, 25, 30 years, 50 years, like that. It is transferred from one generation to another generation. You are planting the tree for the next generation also. So enough space should be there for growth that way. Then fruiting is a seasonal behavior. So you have to see that which season you want the fruit, and again, season and region is important that way for that. Photo period and temperature, all those factors are to be considered for this also. And the branching and growth type, continuous and contact, like guava, pineapple, etc., continuously grow. Like banana and this papaya, they are roughly biennial, means 2 to 3 years they survive, and within that their fruit, like papaya starts giving fruit after say 5 to 6 months and continuously gives fruit till it is alive. And banana per plant, it gives one bunch of the banana, and then the life is over. It starts drying up, but then new suckers come up. So because of the suckers only, you have to see if you are growing in container in terrace, and keep on removing the suckers, because the uh, next multiplications happens through suckers. So you remove the sucker and plant it in a different container, or in the ground also you remove the sucker and plant in a new place. Outdoor plants, I mean fruits, can be divided into two groups, tropical and temperate. That way tropical list is longer. Also temperate, many fruits are there. I've just mentioned here few. Banana is there, pear, custard apple, fig, grape, guava, jackfruit, all are there. Mango is there, mulberry, orange, papaya, all are there. And in temperate, of course, apple, apricot, cherry, peach, pear, then plum, persimmon, quince, etc. are there. These are the, depending on the location, we should prefer our which kind of fruit we can grow, we should grow, because in tropical region, try to grow temperate. Plant will perhaps survive, and it will give one or two fruits, but that is not the success. If we want to grow for the production, then we have to decide according to our region. If we are in tropical region, should try to grow tropical fruits, and in temperate region, try to grow temperate fruits. Coming to the ornamentals, again, there are plants which can be grown indoor. In that, leafy green plants are there, or multicolor plants are there, or even certain flowering plants also can be grown indoor. And then indoor plants, as I said earlier, energy boosters, they act as energy booster. They also refresh and concentrate, I mean, increase the concentration in work, focus. They bring the positivity in us, and also increases the aesthetic ambience, increase the efficiency and productivity, which is a benefit for us. Oxygen level and humidity level is controlled. Oxygen is increased, humidity is decreased. But most importantly, indoor plants contribute in reducing the toxicity level in the air, because inside our homes we are living with many things which are part of our life, and they emit toxic volatile organic compounds from the materials like paint, wall paint, or varnishes, polishes, then vinyl, laminates, rubber, dyes, detergents, and so many ink. So many are there, and different kind of toxic VOC, that is volatile organic compounds, which are continuously we are inhaling, and because in closed condition, or even if it is ventilated also, if we keep the indoor plants which are specific to absorbing these kind of volatile gases, then that does the purification of the ambient atmosphere. In indoor plants, again, grouping is done. There are certain plants which are harmful for the children and pets, because these leaves have certain kind of toxic material, so to say, and children touching the leaves or plants and then putting hand in mouth is may be harmful. So if you have children or certain pets like dogs and cats are certain, they don't like certain plants due to some reason, natural reason. So if you have small children, or if you have pets, then may avoid keeping these kind of plants indoors, like amaryllis or azalea or chrysanthemum, cyclamen, and this English ivy, philodendron, poinsettia, etc., etc. And then, as I said, anti-pollution. These are the plants which absorb the VOCs in ambient, which is emitting from different stuffs indoors. Like aglaonema is there, bamboo palm, ficus, javera, mother-in-law, sansevieria or snake plant, same actually. Money plant, peace lily, and list is long. There are many plants actually. And simultaneously, along with that, there are certain plants which produce oxygen. They contribute in increasing the oxygen level indoors, like aloe vera, areca palms, and basil, javera, daisy, money plant, snake plant, that is mother-in-law's tongue or sansevieria, spider plant, whipping fig, etc. And again, a few examples only here mentioned. As I said earlier, certain plants are also helpful in repelling the pest. It may be flying insects or maybe crawling insects or other kind of pests. So if you keep the plants, depending on the type of the plant, in the strategic places like on near the window where the flying insects are coming, or entry exit point of the pest, then you can actually have a control on the pest incidence. And these are the plants like basil, is there, catnip, chamomile, Chinese evergreen, citronella, coleus, lavender, Venus flytrap, many other plants are also there. Then outdoor, indoor plants mostly for the beautification, for aesthetic view, and in that there are flowering plants, whereas other foliage plants are also there. Some can be grown indoor also, and others can be grown outdoor. So multiple colors of foliage and flowers are there, riot of colors, so to say. Annual potted plants are there, then perennial flowering trees are there, seasonal bedding plants, and colors and natural air purifiers, because we have pollution outside also, not only indoor. Outside pollution also has to be controlled, and if we grow coming to the outdoor ornamentals, I mean, next is the list of outdoor ornamentals. In that, I have divided into two groups. One is foliage plants and flowering plants. Some can be grown indoor also, but as I said, all plants can be grown outdoor. So Amaranthus tricolor, Artemisia, Begonia, Bougainvillea, Buddleia, Caladiums, Coleus, these are all ornamental foliage plants. Coral bells, elephant's ears, hosta, lamb's ear, lungwort, and Persian seal, and many more. Similarly, in flowering plants, longer list is there. Of course, it grow in different seasons. So when I talk about the seasons in following sessions, I'll talk about in detail which season is suitable for which plant. This Osteancia, Allium, then Aglonema, Angelonia, aster, azalea, balloon flower, begonia, butterfly bush, calendula. Long list is there, nasturtium, pansy. Different season, different plants are there. So altogether, you can place it like here in the staircase. You can see it is outdoor, but perhaps not direct sunlight is available, but sufficient sunlight is available. So at the end, what I want to sum up with is that, as I said, the factors, growing factors are important. Understanding that specific to the plants, we should decide about the plant depending on what kind of growing factors are possible, available with us, and accordingly we should go about selecting and deciding about the list of the plants, and also the purpose, which at the in different sessions I'll cover all this, and after all sessions are over, then probably I think you will be able to decide and plan about your garden, how to go about. Thank you. So